Welcome to the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage, where rude mechanicals do magic. Hello, I'm Bronze Age, Director of the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage. And today we've got another basket case which came in without a basket. What we've got here is a pair of cabinet doors that they're not folding doors, but they've already folded. So we're going to have to put them back together. We have all the pieces here. Only one chip missing out of one of the boards. But the real problem here is the way it was put together in the first place is that the mortise is actually cut by a big giant circular blade that just went in here, made a little shallow trench. And then the tenons are just trimmed to fit into that curved slot. And it's just simply not enough material. If you look at it, you can actually see that there are some small nail holes. So what they did was glued it, stuck it together, and then tacked it in place with the nails to hold it till the glue dried. And when the glue finally failed, 50, 60, 70 years later, there was not enough strength in the nails to hold it together. On top of that, these cabinet doors hold a mirror, sort of like a painting on the inside there. And so it's very heavy. This is oak, which is fairly heavy as well, and that was just too much stress, force of gravity on it, pulling it apart. So this is one of those situations where we're going to have to do some re-engineering as well as cabinet repair. And the plan is to cut a deeper tenon into both the rails and the stiles, and then insert a free tenon between the two of them, kind of like a domino or a biscuit or something like that, but a little more substantial. And then glue it all back together, and then hopefully in the future the glue won't let go, but we'll have enough mechanical leverage to hold the whole thing together. After some fitting and fiddling, I think I've come up with a way to cut this mortise. What I'm going to do is use my quarter cable router, and I've built a sled type jig which will hold the rail in place, including strips of cardboard for precision depth adjustment. Router just simply slides back and forth against the stops. Now, I ran it one time on a practice piece, which came out pretty good. So now we're going to go for the cash payoff. what's going to do it. Except for breaking off a bit, that went pretty well. This is not a measure twice and cut once kind of operation. It's a measure 50 times and then wonder if you've got left and right confused before you start to make your cut. Okay, that's the last one. Now I've got to make some tenons that'll fit this. I'm going to have to make them a little loose just to compensate for not having the mortises exactly lined up. I don't even think that's really possible. And then we'll start doing this thing back together. Several years ago I found a pair of oak sideboards laying against the dumpster. They were about 7 inches wide, or whatever the length of a regular twin bed mattress is. But they come in very handy, especially for repairing furniture where you need some nice, clean, straight-grained oak. And this may be the last of those sideboards. And they're going to go into making the tenons for our cabinet doors. I've got the tenons cut, one in a 3/16 and one in a more full 1/4 inch, because all of these are going to need a little bit of finessing to make them fit just right. Once that's done, they'll be bedded in epoxy, and I'm using an epoxy that at our current temperatures takes a full 24 hours to fully cure. And what that does, it gives me a chance to put it all together, apply wood glue to the bare wood surfaces, get it down on a flat table, get it clamped in place, and make sure it's nice, straight, the diagonals are equal and everything like that, and get it all together. And the epoxy will still be nice and flexible, so that I'll have time to do all that. That looks pretty good. The epoxy I'm using is PC Products PC7. I've used it before for this kind of work, and it's always served well. Like with every kind of epoxy, you got to mix it really good. And slower curing epoxies require more mixing than fast set epoxy, which I don't actually believe there is such a thing. But trying not to mix up more than I really need. There's not much space between these tenons and these holes. They're a nice, easy, what they call a rattle fit, which is a little looser than a slip fit. I want them so that they'll drop right in, and I won't have to put any stress on the wood to pull it back and clamp it back straight and square. Definitely don't want to have to take any of this stuff apart after the epoxy is starting to set up. But all the way up to about 5 or 6 or 7 hours, you can still pull it apart. We're in the workroom of the bungalow. There's nobody here right now, so I can come in and use their big work table to get this thing nice and flat and straight. Close to square as it's ever going to get. Probably more square than it was when it was brand new. And it's not going to be plate glass flat, but it will be as flat as this table is. No question about that. Okay. So we got this all glued up. There's nothing I could do with it, and it's just about time to go home anyway. So, continue this project in the morning. Well, this project is finished. The cabinet door frames came out pretty solid. I think they'll be able to hold whatever the customer wants to put on the back. So, this is Bronze Age, thanking you for watching this video. Appreciate you stopping by. I'd really like it if you would click the like button and subscribe, tell all your friends, and we'll see you again soon in the next video. Thank you very much.